Hello everyone and welcome to another bass singer reaction. Oh boy, we got one hot off the press today. I'm obviously recording this on Monday, September 3rd, and Geoff dropped his new cover of House of the Rising Sun, bass singer cover. It's funny, he's been naming these bass singer cover or low bass singer cover. They all sound like low bass singer covers to me, but he has named this one bass singer cover. So I did watch the premiere. I have been getting requests off the hook, so to speak, to react and analyze what Geoff's doing in this video, vocally, arrangement-wise, all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing that today. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, please consider, in addition to subscribing and liking and commenting on the videos as you guys are doing and requesting things you want me to analyze and react to, consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Early access, behind the scenes, rough drafts, interactions with me, merchandise, Discord server, all that good stuff is available for $1 a month. Or more, depending on how much you are enjoying my content. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this cover. There's going to be a lot to unpack here. A lot of good stuff happening. Geoff truly never disappoints. So let's go ahead and dive in.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one.
Stop right there. I think we're in A flat. So he went down to, I think, D flat or C sharp 2, whatever you want to call it. Good. So again, Geoff kicks it off. Solo voice, nothing going on in the background. We just get his raw vocals. I think it's a great way to start. It's a great way to start this piece. It's a great way to start just about any piece because it allows so much room for contrast and allows the song to build. Now, this song, the original, is basically just, it's strophic, meaning it's the same melody, same music with new text each time. Very hard to memorize strophic pieces. He obviously doesn't have to worry about that so much here. But, so it can be very boring. The original is an amazing song, and it's amazing because, really, of just the powerhouse vocals of that singer. So Geoff's obviously going to take a completely different approach because his voice is nothing like the original. The Animals, I believe, did the original. Voice is nothing like that lead singer. He's going to make his own spin on it, and he's going to take it in a whole new direction. And the original did have instrumentation for this intro, but the lead singer was singing an octave lower. Then he kicks it up. Geoff is just doing solo voice. There is one part I don't love about this intro, and it is Geoff. What we would call this in opera is getting a little sloppy with the vowels. Now that's of course something where you do have much more power as a solo artist. Not power, you have much more choice as a solo artist in this kind of medium. In opera, if you're singing an Italian ah vowel, you need to sing the ah. It can't be aw. It has to be an ah vowel, an Italian ah vowel. In this, there's more leeway, but I'm going to back it up. I think it's when he's saying, let me find the word and I'll point it out. It just gets a little, I just wish he had a little bit more clarity of text and a little bit more clarity of vowel. And I'm sure that is part of me just being a classically trained person, where that's something I generally appreciate in genres outside of the classic world. Not to make them sound like proper or anything, but just the whole idea of music and singing is to communicate a message. And the best way to communicate a message is when the audience understands what you're saying clearly. Now, part of that message can be through the music, can be through that emotional release. That is one way. Another way is just to simply have people understand exactly what you're saying in their own language. That's one, obviously, great way to communicate. So let's back it up. We're going to listen to this whole section again. I will not be doubling each section up, but just so you guys can hear what I'm talking about when the vowels, and I'll pause it, get a little bit sloppy. Otherwise, it's a fantastic intro, and Geoff sounds amazing as always.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a
instead of many a. If he puts that little of just a little more roundness to the and then a little of many, it would be much clearer. It's just a little bit amorphous. Listen one more time.
And it's been the ruin of many a.
It still sounds good. I mean, like I said, Geoff sounds awesome. He's a wonderful singer and has an awesome voice. This is just an artistic choice that my preference would be if he just had a little more clarity in the text and in those vowel choices.
A poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, sewed my new blue jeans. Daddy was a gambling man way down in New Orleans.
Woo! All right, there's a lot. Yeah, they're coming out already. Jeez. So I love the snapping. Geoff loves his snaps. He loves his drives. He loves his momentum. He loves picking up he loves giving you the vibe like it's going to pick up before it actually picks up. So he's got snaps going. I also like that little break he had in there where everything stops for a second. That's a cool little nuance that Geoff, that's the thing Geoff does so well, is those little details that make an arrangement so much more interesting. We've got the solo voice. We've got same melody, different words. Like I said, strophic. Still just one solo voice with background harmonies, really light, and then we got the snaps. And then he finishes on, what is that note? Nice A flat 1, G sharp 1. Obviously in chest, opposed to my chest fry. Amazing. Yeah, we're already gonna give him a pit viper because that was a long, nice, thick, sustained A flat 1 in chest, G sharp 1 in chest. Let's do it.
Daddy was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Satisfied is when he's on a drunk.
So this is great. Now we've got the momentum. We've got the drum, strum, and tap. Guitar, strum, and tap going on. We still got the snaps going. We got some like some stomping. We got some percussion. We've got a lot of drive happening now, and he's picking up his power a little bit. Geoff is known for the beauty of his voice, of his instrument, and his lows, his subharmonics, his low chest. He's not known for like his power vocals, like belting. He occasionally will do a belt, but that's not what he's known for so much. And this song to me like kind of how the original was, feels like it can use some of that grit and like rasp and kind of like raw power like we do get in the original. We don't really get that from Geoff's voice. It's just such a beautiful instrument. You just don't really get that. It's relatable in a way. In the opera world, you know, my voice isn't known for being like the biggest or the darkest or anything like that. It's just known because, according to people, it's just kind of it's a beautiful sounding voice. It's a very pleasant sounding voice. To me, I really align with Geoff in that way. It's that sing well, sing with good technique, and make it beautiful. You know, at some point that the technique and the health even really has to go if you're going to put a ton of grit and rasp into it, if your voice doesn't already do that naturally. Because what the grit and rasp is just turbulence of the vocal folds. It means that the vocal folds have stopped doing a nice periodic oscillation, and there's turbulence happening. They're kind of like smashing against each other. That is how you get that sound. And that's the thing I love about Geoff's voice, is he doesn't have that. He has a very pure, beautiful sound. But for this song in particular, I feel like it could use some of that. Just the gritty, raw power of the song and the text and the original all come together. But that aside, that's, you know, again, another just artistic preference of mine. Geoff is doing exactly what he does best and what he was clearly going for in this cover. And we do get some of that grit in this background drive, in this background guitar snap kick pattern. We do get that kind of raw vibe. We just don't get it as much from his vocals, if that makes sense.
Others tell your children, yeah, not to do what I've done. Spend your life.
Kind of. That is low. A E flat 1. Jeez, marimba. Dude, I mean, yep. Let's give him a second one, because that's a really low sub. And it's clean and it's exposed. And damn it, Geoff, you're checking off all my boxes for pit fiber status.
Children, yeah, not to do what I've done. Spend your life in fear and misery in the house of the rising sun.
That was another G sharp 1 chest. And I love it. I remember he ends... I'm not going to say yet. He ends the song a way that I absolutely love.
Well, I've got one foot on the platform, yeah. The other's on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that long chain.
I can't give him 19 pit fibers in one song. It's not allowed. It's just not allowed. All right, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit. So again, I talked about this last. I don't know if I will have released it yet, but Geoff loves to flex the lows than the highs, or the highs than the lows. It's like a very signature thing he does. So he takes the solo up part of it into, it wouldn't be the original key. The original key is like, oh, it might be, but he doesn't sing as high as the original artist goes, which is like, he's like belting A flat 4s in the original or something. Geoff got up somewhere. We'll find out. We're in a second. It's another spot where I'm going to reiterate. It felt like it had a ways further it could have gone towards that power grit belting that we don't get it again because of how Geoff's voice is and what Geoff's strengths are as a singer. When he goes up into that higher range, I really wanted to hear some like kick-ass power belting, and we don't get it. So that's just something I wanted that wasn't there. But again, this is just personal preference, and everything Geoff is doing, he's clearly doing extremely well. But let's go back so we'll listen to him take it up a little bit there. There.
I've got one foot on the platform, yeah. The other's on the other.
So he does. Okay, so he does get up to A flat, but in the original you have that. You have like a long sustained A flat. So he's touching up there, which is extremely high. And then he comes back down. Anyway, one more time. Then we'll go.
Platform, yeah. The others on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that moment chain. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. They call the Rising Sun. It's based in the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. And God, I know I'm one. In the house of the rising sun.
I love that ending. I mean, how often do you hear someone hit a low note like that and close off the vowel and then sustain it further? Oh man, that is just fantastic. So he hit it. The third Fit 5 Rose Devating was another G sharp 1 chest, and then he hit another E flat D sharp 1 sub, and then he finishes on another G sharp. I'm giving him 3 because I refuse to give 4. Oh man, what a great cover! And something I haven't even mentioned yet really is how different this take is than the original, and how much I respect that and love that, and I really like what he did with it. I mean, I think he was quick to acknowledge how different the original vocally was from him, and not only did he sing it differently, parts of which I really liked, parts of which I wished were closer to the original, but he also did a totally different arrangement. I mean, the whole feel of the piece, the original's like this one was like, it was almost like double time with like harder hitting percussion. It was just a total flip on its head of the original in terms of like overall feel of the piece. And he did an excellent job with it. So yeah, really my one big thing is I just wanted to hear more like grit, power vocals, and that's really not something that's in my repertoire of singing. I can sing very powerfully like an opera singer, but my voice doesn't do the grit thing either. It doesn't do the raspiness. My vocal folds are like, nope, we're just going to phonate properly all the time because you've trained too much. And I think Geoff is in a similar boat in the sense that he just has a very healthy vocal production, and his voice doesn't want to get raspy and gritty. That might not be true. He might have just chosen to sing it all this way, but there were a few moments in here where it really, I just felt like it needed that. You know what I mean? But all that aside, really awesome arrangement. Just Pit Viper Central. This is like Indiana Jones when they trap him and the lady in the tomb with all the snakes, all the venomous snakes around him. That's what I felt like watching this video. I could have given him 5, really. 4 for sure. But that's just House of the Rising Pit Viper. House of the Pit Viper. Geoff Castellucci. So good, guys. Hope you enjoyed that analysis and my reaction to it. And yeah, I will see you guys for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.